This episode of the GameOverGreggy Show is brought to you by Blue Apron. For less than $10 per meal, Blue Apron delivers seasonal recipes along with pre-portioned ingredients to make delicious home-cooked meals. Did I missay recipes? I might have, but I'm not going to stop because your best friend and Blue Apron don't care. They just want to feed you. Will you let them feed you? Ladies and gentlemen, I've used Blue Apron. That's right, it's me, Greg Miller, from the GameOverGreggy Show. They sent buffalo chicken sandwiches. I made them. They were delicious. Did they send other things? Yes, they did. They were also delicious. They send you the pre-portioned ingredients. You get them. You do little step-by-step recipes. You get cool recipe cards. They teach you about the ingredients. You make delicious home-cooked stuff at home. So check out this week's menu and get the first 3 meals free with free shipping by going to blueapron.com/Greggy. You will love how good it feels and tastes to create an incredible home-cooked meal with Blue Apron, so don't wait. That's blueapron.com/Greggy. Blue Apron, a better way to cook. Now here's Kevin.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
My topic.
Great.
Is another morality hypothetical question, all right? I'm in Anaheim last week. I'm in bed. Shirts off. Lights are off. Flipping through the TV, though. I want a little bit of TV before I go to bed. I don't like this often, but I want to see something. What do I run into, Nick Scarpino?
The Martian.
I run into The Martian.
We talked about
the one and only. Well, not my topic, but yeah, we talked about the fact that we both...
we had a great shared experience we didn't even know we were having. We're both in bed, shirtless, probably pantsless.
Yeah, of course.
And,
you sleeping in the nude there?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, me too. I love to start sheets all over my body.
Because I like to know that no matter how dirty I am, the sheets are going to be clean the next day. If you know what I mean?
Sure, I know what you mean. Yeah, okay. So Martian's on. I like The Martian a lot. Yeah. Haven't seen it in a while. Watch up until they inform the crew. I'm like, I feel like I've seen it from here.
I'm going to stop right there and express that we were in separate rooms while this was happening. I feel like that was a piece of information.
I feel like people would have known that.
Just throwing it out there.
I would have known if you were naked in the bed with me.
Experience. We were both shirtless and pantsless, and we were both watching The Martian. At no point
I did have bunk
did I
beds.
say that we were in other rooms. I'm just
clarifying.
clarifying.
There
we
were
in other
bunk
rooms.
beds in our rooms.
Yeah,
that's
we had family suites. Why not? Here's what I want to know. Let's say technology's not there yet, I know. But let's say technology gets there in a little bit, right? Would you watch a spaceman in space die? And what I mean by this is, let's say we have an Apollo 13 situation, we have a similar Martian situation, but basically we have a capsule out there that we can't get back. Human being in it, and he's got the ability to live stream, right? And even if, and I'm not even sure about the legality of this, or you could probably check me. Remember, in The Martian, they talk about how much time they have before the world's going to know that Watley's still up there, right?
Right.
Because their concern was they didn't want to send down. If they took any photos, they're a public corporation. That's not what I'm looking for.
It's public domain.
Public domain. Thank you. That they would have to share those photos. People would see his body. Actually, I'm sorry. It's before they'd see his body dead on the planet. So if that's the case, and we can just say Watley or whatever, our spaceman out there tumbling through space is broadcasting back to NASA, and he's just going to talk to them until he dies. Would you watch that footage?
Yes.
Although
the situation,
I would have to.
Yeah, me too.
Well, your situation is different because I think you're talking about two different things. Watley wasn't stranded in space.
Yeah.
So Watley was on a planet with at least some way to survive for a little while. It's fucking scary, but he's on Mars, as opposed to a runaway capsule that's just hurtling through space at 30,000 miles an hour.
Even if it's just stuck in the orbit of the moon or whatever. It's just orbiting. You know what I mean?
Well, because I think it's a little different.
We can't get it back.
To me, that's way fucking darker.
Yeah, 100%.
Than dying at least on a planet space to
and
move.
That's why I'm just saying we
can.
can use Watley's name. I'm not as experienced. I'm talking about a spaceman in space. We have lost this shuttle. We have lost this capsule, and there's no way we can get it back. And there's nothing they can do. It's gravity is maybe a better thing. You know, Sandra Bullock's in that one space thing before whatever happens.
Sure.
You know, would you watch that footage? Because that would be his final moments. He knows what's happening. He's communicating with NASA, talking to you, leaving a message for his family. He knows he's being live streamed.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is if he knows that he's being watched, then I think that like it would be, be terrible, but it'll also be a kind of an historic thing to watch, as dark as that is. It's like maybe he, like what does a man, we've never lost someone like that.
Yeah.
Everyone that's like died in our space program has actually died on the planet.
Yeah.
Not in space. So, Apollo 13 was about as close as we ever got to that. So, and maybe some low Earth orbit shit, but I mean, not out there. past the Van Allen belt or anything has anyone like actually died.
It's conceivable though that when we actually do send a manned mission to Mars, that's a very distinctive possibility.
It's conceivable with every space flight. Every space flight, something can go wrong. Yeah, exactly.
Anything
a million little things can go wrong. But when we do have private corporations doing it, chasing each other, trying to go faster, and I think that's another reason I thought about it with like the
SpaceX
rocket that
explosion.
recently exploded. Yeah, and Elon Musk and Virgin Galactic. Like people are pushing for this, and that is going to come. I mean, I think it was Virgin, right? When they lost that plane, they lost the pilots inside them. They died on Earth, I should say. Richard Branson's quote, whatever, was just like, this sucks. We thank their families, we thank them, but these are the growing pains this goes through as we continue to reach for the stars, kind of thing.
I mean, and also you add the other side of it, like GoPro is going to be pushing to do that stuff. Like they're already doing that. Like the guy that jumped out.
Oh, the Red Bull dude.
Red Bull GoPro.
Yeah.
That whole kind of. Even today, we were watching a video of some dude jumping out 4 stories down into a pool, and there's this guy blowing up. I forgot what his name is. It's 88 something. His whole Instagram page is just him jumping off of crazy shit.
Yeah,
he trespasses, then jumps off mountains or hotels or crazy things. And it's like people have a fascination with that type of stuff, and GoPro and Red Bull are kind of fueling like all of that. And I mean, taking this question to a much more like right now scenario, it's like. With social media and Facebook, we've talked about it so much. Like people are just desensitized to stuff, and like let's take even movies and like the media out of it. It's just more like just what people are posting. All the stuff of the cops shooting people and all that. Those videos are public. They are being shared, not behind paywalls, not behind hidden things of, are you sure you're 18? Are you sure you want to see this? Sure. It's just being shared on your Facebook wall. And there is that morbid curiosity people have of wanting to see those things and be in the know. They want to have seen the thing to be able to say what they think about it. And I think that's where it gets really kind of messy. And like I've been in that position many times. Like years ago there was the what's his name? Saddam Hussein and all that stuff. Videos. And it's like, it's out there. And it's like, do you want to see that or no? It's like, why would you want to see it? But there is the fact that that's even a question is there. Everybody has to answer it. It's totally out there. But now it's getting to the point that it gets thrust upon you whether or not you want it to. I've seen some shit on Facebook that I'm like, I've unfollowed some people because I'm like, nah. Yeah. Like they're trying to prove a point about like Americans need to be more knowledgeable about what's going on. I'm like, I don't need to see the decapitations going on. I don't need to see all this shit. But it's like, if that stuff is so readily available, that thing's going to be live streamed, and that's going to be a national event.
Yeah, I feel like for that, in that regard, like I know it sounds kind of silly because there would be hundreds of, probably millions of people listening at this point, but I would want to be there for that person. Like on some level, like if I were that person, I'd be like, I don't want to be dying alone. Knowing that there are people out there, maybe they can't hear me or maybe I can't hear them or whatever, but knowing that there are people out there like with me on this would be, I would like to believe that that's somewhat comforting. And that like I think we all
you're not alone. You're not just hurtling through
anyone
space.
who supports space exploration or any sort of exploration like on that front. You can't just have the good. You would have to be there for that. You would have to experience that because that is a very real reality of what we are going to face as we push farther and farther out into the solar system. But yeah, I don't know. It's morbid, but I think
even outside of the space stuff, I mean, I think that there is definitely a lot. Humans are very complex creatures, and it's like there's a lot to be learned from the emotions of that, and like dealing with like if that's happening, it's happening, and if you're there for it and being able to experience their final moments and like that it's their final moments, like that's something that's really kind of, it's dark, but it kind of can teach you something about your outlook on life.
Sure, how precious life is and all these other things.
And it reminds me of like videos, like recently we talked about kind of the opposite of this, of watching videos that are just pure happiness moments, like the first time someone sees, or like when their child is born, or like things like that. But recently I came across this video that was a cell phone, or I guess it must have been a digital camera video of September 11th from like 10 blocks away of these kids in a college dorm as shit's going down, and like when the second building gets hit and they're all losing their minds because they're fucking scared because they have no idea what's going on running the elevator and shit. And it's just like watching that is like, it's powerful. And I felt like watching that video, even though I know how all that shit went down, it changed me. It made me really think about stuff in a different way. And it's like, I think that there is like a weird educational side to putting yourself through those experiences when they're real. You can
Yeah.
watch movies and you can see Mufasa die, and that can hit you, and you can relate that to things. But when it's real shit, that's a whole other level where you're like, fuck. Like, life is precious. You need to be very careful with it, and you need to kind of spread that positivity in the words to people of just like, use your life for good.
Sure. Yeah, it's weird. I think we're using it'd be an interesting, flip of if it was being live streamed and he didn't want people to watch it. And then if they, if I don't know why they wouldn't
That would be
turn it off or
horrible.
something. Yeah.
Then that would just be despicable in that case. I have to imagine that any astronaut that's brave enough to go out there would probably, I don't know. I mean, because you think about that, right? You're thinking about those last moments in The Martian, which granted it's a total make believe, but what if they hadn't gotten him, right? And then you think back to it was I forget what year in the 80s it was with the Challenger explosion,
86,
where I don't think I watched that live, but people did, right? There were people that were like, oh, this is awesome, we're launching it, and then in moments and just like that, all of them are gone. So it's just it's crazy, but that is reality, and those are those moments where like you have a gut check moment where you're like, am I desensitized to this, or can I still feel human feelings when it comes to like these basic emotions of wanting to see people live and thrive? I don't know. It's pretty crazy.
It is.